We had this event started at about 3:15. It did involve a man driving a pickup truck down Bourbon Street at a very fast pace, and it was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could. It was not a DUI situation. This is a more complex and more serious based on the information we have right now.
22-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar. We did just get a new photo that was released of the suspect from the FBI. Here is a look at the photo. He may look different than he has looked in other photos that we have been showing, but this one, the most recent photo released by the FBI, the 42-year-old who police say was behind the wheel, plowing over those 15 people in the crowd, injuring dozens of others. This is the person that police believe is responsible.
Evidence points to Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger, who was behind the wheel. Now investigators piecing together the 37-year-old's ID and final few days.
First and foremost is a military identification. We also found a passport.
Authorities say the body was burned beyond recognition, but the coroner found a gunshot wound to the head prior to the explosion.
There are 2 tattoos that has given us a lot of confidence that this is, in fact, the same person.
Inside the truck, investigators found fuel canisters and firework mortars, plus 2 semi-automatic handguns they say Livelsberger bought legally on Monday. Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger was on active duty, served as a Green Beret assigned to Army Special Operations Command. He was based in Germany but on approved leave, according to Army officials. He was deployed multiple times and was a recipient of the Bronze Star with Valor. His motive tonight still unknown.
I'm comfortable calling it a suicide with the bombing that occurred immediately thereafter. I'm not giving it any other labels.
Livelsberger rented the Cybertruck in Denver on December 28th. Using data from Tesla charging stations, officials tracked his route through Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. On New Year's Day, he was first spotted in Las Vegas at 7:29. 5 minutes later, he's seen driving through the valet area at the Trump Hotel. He drives around for a while, and then at 8:40, he's back at the Trump valet. 17 seconds later, the Cybertruck explodes.
God bless Philadelphia, and now is the time for us to demonstrate what our One Philly philosophy means.
Mayor Sherrill Parker calling for the city to come together as the investigation into that deadly medical jet crash gets underway. We're just starting to get a look at the scope of the destruction after that plane suddenly crashed right there in northeast Philadelphia, resulting in a massive explosion. It is Saturday night. I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is the latest on that horrific crash of a medical jet in northeast Philadelphia. Chopper 6 is live over the massive scene. As you can see, it looks more like a war zone with debris scattered for blocks. Here's what we know at this hour. At least 7 people are dead. That includes 6 people on board that plane and 1 person on the ground. 19 others were injured, but the extent of those injuries remains unknown tonight. Now, the crash resulted in a massive fire, as you've seen, that torched at least 5 homes and a bunch of vehicles as well. Federal and local investigators are now assessing the damage and debris across 4 to 6 block areas. NTSB officials say they have not yet located the cockpit voice recorder, which could shed more light into how this could have happened. Once again, the plane took off from northeast Philadelphia Airport and crashed just 4 miles away in a very busy and populated intersection. The Action News team is gathering the very latest tonight. We begin with Brianna Smith. And Brianna, the NTSB just gave its first update.
Yes, Walter, and the NTSB chair expressed her condolences to those impacted by this crash. And she says 17 members, along with local and state agencies, are on the ground investigating. She says they found the 2 engines, and now they're looking for the black box, which could be in pieces. But she says it's a crucial part of the investigation. So she urges the public, if you see debris, to contact them or 911.
This is an active investigation scene. The debris is scattered. It is very dangerous.
Tonight, the NTSB says investigators are still searching for the jet's cockpit voice recorder. They say the flight lasted less than a minute.
We will find a cause for this tragedy.
Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker says the city is working closely with state and federal agencies on the ground to investigate the deadly medical jet crash near Roosevelt Mall in Northeast Philadelphia. Parker says the tragedy claimed the lives of at least 6 people on the plane and 1 person in a vehicle on the ground. At least 19 others were injured, while 5 homes and many cars went up in flames from the massive explosion.
The city of Philadelphia, we mourn their loss, and they are in our thoughts and in our prayers.
Shriners Children's Hospital says the child on board the plane received care in Philadelphia before traveling home to Mexico with her mother. Officials say the Learjet 55, which was operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance and based in Mexico, was leaving Northeast Philadelphia Airport to land in Missouri, but crashed quickly.
We have a lot of unknowns about who was where on the streets of this neighborhood last night at the time of impact. So it will likely be days or more until we are able to definitively answer the question about the number of folks who perished in this tragedy.
Officials say they're now assessing the damage in the nearly 6-block wreckage area, going door to door to inspect the structures and collecting evidence.
The city is working around the clock to keep people safe, to understand what happened, and to be there for those who are impacted.
And of course, our hearts go out to those who were impacted. Now, Mayor Sherelle Parker says if you need somewhere to stay or need help from the American Red Cross, Samuel Fells High School has a shelter. You're able to go there. And if you know someone who is missing or concerned about someone, you're asked to call 911. And again, if you see debris, do not touch it. Instead, contact 911 or the NTSB.
CNN show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In the second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling in.
Reading out of the book of Psalms, chapter 78 and verse 49, and it reads, He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. Koholo Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Ruha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness and sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. I'm trying to make this short. Family, I don't know if y'all been paying attention. You look at these videos, post for this, currently posted for this exhortation video. You guys see the pattern of what's been going on from New Year's Eve, the end of 2024, so-called, into today. I check it. You had a terrorist attack in New Orleans that ended the lives of some people. You had a terrorist attack in Vegas with the Tesla pickup that blew up, if you guys recall. Then you had a string of airplane crashes, right? You had one in the Russia area. It was a crash landing, but 16 died. There was another one, I forget the actual account. The plane crashed, right? And then there was that incident with the South Korea jet that it landed, it landed, but it was unable to slow down and it slammed into the wall and everyone died on that jet. Let's take it to Babylon the Great. Let's take it here to America. You had an incident in the DC area where the report was the helicopter unknowingly ascended up, not knowing a plane was descending down, and everyone died on impact, unfortunately. But the news is coming out, okay? The news is coming out with different angles. And I'm not the first guy to bring this out on video. I'm certain other YouTubers already bringing out this area of great concern. There's a video going viral, okay? And I hope you guys really observe that. From what I'm seeing, the helicopter pilot knowingly took off in the direction of that passenger, that American Airlines flight that was trying to land.
These videos obtained exclusively by CNN show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In a second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling in.
Okay, and when you look at it from that angle, you be the judge. End Time Headlines reported, I had the notification. According to End Time Headlines, that captain in the Black Hawk helicopter was told to stand down. Okay. A lot of false news reports saying that the Air Command gave them okay, but ETH reported differently. And when you look at it, and you be the judge, when you look at that looked intentional. But you guys be the judge. The video's there, you be the judge. That looked very intentional. Like terrorist attack intentional. It gets better. Or should I say it gets worse? It gets worse. This crash in Philadelphia. When you look at the video, okay, the video's posted. When you look at that video, okay, the impact was so swift. I had a coworker, he even sent me a text and said we're under attack. And I didn't take it at face value. But when I kept looking at the videos, I was like, family, that thing came down so damn fast. You couldn't determine if that was a jet or a missile. But after further review of videos, it was determined to be a jet. But family, I'm going to tell y'all something. And again, I'm not the only YouTuber saying this. That plane came down like a missile. Y'all know Yahusab Israel is a history nut. How many of us remember World War II? Pearl Harbor. I mean, family, the jet, the mini jet, of the Learjet, it kamikazed into the ground. And when you look at the mushroom cloud that came afterwards, okay, when you look at the overall picture of that impact, it left a damn crater in the concrete. Yo, check it. Now, there's a big investigation. There's a massive investigation underway in Philly regarding that crash. And a lot of the media and even investigators are fearful it came down so quick. I mean, for real, it was like a kamikaze hit into the ground. And the only way to know what truly happened is through what? That it's like a voice box. I think they call them black boxes. What are the odds of them recovering that black box? Okay, I'd say the odds are grim. Family, these are coming off like terrorist attacks. Because you had the one in New Orleans, in Vegas. After further review of the Black Hawk helicopter, he intentionally ran into that jet, especially with the angle post. And his Learjet kamikaze Slovakia into the ground, killing up to 10, I believe, wounded up to 20, somewhere around there. Ultimately, Israel, this is the works of the Most High. Because as I've been saying, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's judging Babylon the Great. Okay? We're going to get some scriptures. I want you guys to be the judge. We living in some serious times, and family, that's only going to increase. Let's read let's go back to the book of Psalms. I want to get a couple of more precepts, and we're gonna end this podcast. Give me one moment, family. I mean, you be the judge. I just want y'all to be the judge on what happened. We're going to read this from the top. Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49, and it reads, He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. Okay. Verse 50 reads, He made a way to his anger. He spared not their souls from death, but gave their life over to pestilence. Okay. That's actually, when you read down to verse 50, 51, that goes into the judgment of ancient Egypt. Okay. What is America? America is modern day Egypt. And America, family, the United States of America is getting hit by plagues. And these plagues are getting worse. Okay. There's a scripture out there. It's a different translation of the scriptures. Okay, it's called the Targums, but I was never able to get a copy. They were very difficult to find online. But if you was to get a hold of the Targums version of the scriptures, in the Targums, it was recorded that America would receive up to 200 plus plagues before the last one. Okay, because the KJV, the 1611, they only show you the amount during ancient Egypt. There's no real numbers specified in those versions, which are good versions, by the way. But I know for certain in the Targum's account, I learned that from another elder. He posted on a video some time back, and it showed how America will get hit by plagues from all angles, and we're seeing it. Okay. Let's see if there's any more. I want to see Slack, yeah. I want to see if there's any more I could bring out. I want to mention this before I wind it down. The Most High, when you read Isaiah 45:7, he's behind the right and left when it comes to good and evil. Okay? I'm going to read this and I'm going to end it. One thing I could say for the Israelites in these times that we're living in right now, we got to keep these commandments, because it's getting very, very serious out there. And if you're not walking in the commandments, you can get caught out there, man. We seeing the Most High visiting this earth, and it's just going to increase. That's all I can tell y'all. Keep the commandments. I'm not telling y'all with this podcast to walk in fear. No. You fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and walk in the commandments. Don't walk in fear. Okay, it's a lot of drama with ICE and deportation. You can't fear that either. You have to fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if you're walking in these commandments, you have nothing to be scared of. Okay? I'm going to read this. And, you know, for Israel that's been wounded and died in these accidents, you pray for the families. Okay? You pray for the families, and that's it. You pray for your lost, your loved ones, the Israelites that was involved, that died. You pray for them. That's the most we can do. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, it reads, "See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." So the Most High is behind these judgments. I'm going to hit y'all with something before I go. This so-called golden age of America, as your president-elect said, this is, in his inauguration, it's going to be a total disaster. Because now the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it's like he's hit the gas on the judgment. So these things going to get more and more rampant. I'm telling y'all, keep the commandments. Serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Pray you delivered on E-Day, Exodus Day, D-Day, Deliverance Day. Because ultimately, these nations are going to start shooting them ICBMs this way at some point. Keep in mind, America is approaching 250. Okay? Keep that in mind. But Israel, I love y'all. Okay? I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness and sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom, family.